Hello and welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. How are you doing? So we got a 4 and a 3 and 2 twos. Let's first of all, let's have a look. I think we can do the harden agent with one of those. Oh hey, we get 3 opportunities here, so let's go ahead and use a 2 on this. And we're gonna go ahead and install the Ripper Worm on our port. There we go. So that'll mean hopefully some major progress. Oh, we've got 2 things to progress. Hold on, let's get rid of this. So this is Feng, Havanage Systems Engineer. Or, oh, I see, Rabia is a Yatagan lieutenant. Interesting. Okay, let's do Feng first. As you walk into the timbre, you quickly spot Feng arguing with Jenna. Keep your distance. Approach. You come up behind Feng and he turns and notices you. Jenna stops mid-tirade as you arrive. She turns to you. You again. You here to vouch for this layabout? I am. She laughs. Well. And what are you two up to? Feng winks at you and interjects. It's like I told you, Jenna. I'm helping them out. Getting them settled. Sorting their life out. They are a sleeper. You know what that means? Jenna softens. She looks a little embarrassed. Of course I know. She stops to think. Look, Feng, I get it. You're trying to help, but if you want to keep this job, you're gonna need to be a bit more reliable. Feng nods solemnly. Won't happen again, Jenna, I promise. She looks suspiciously between the two of you. Okay then. She turns to you. And look, I didn't mean to. Just be cool, alright? She turns and walks back to the bar. Well, didn't know you'd stand up for me, Sleeper. Feng claps you on the back. I appreciate the solidarity. He takes out his slate, pulsing with pale light. Now let's take a look at what you are really here for. The slate is a whirring mess of code streams, coming direct from the Ripper Worms as they dig through the agent's data and spin it into threads for the slate to pick up. Anything good? Feng scrolls the display with a finger. A lot of junk, a lot of dull as hell message threads, a lot of tedious data caches, but Feng's eyes flash. Definitely some good stuff. He stops the screen, scrolling on an entry and expands it. Check this out. Feng shows you the screen. You see a bold corporate logo, not Solheim's, and a word below. Conway, Feng says. He's working with Conway. Conway Extractions, right? Feng nods. He's been speaking with them, personally. Got a whole chain of messages here, but it's mostly encrypted or redacted. He rubs his head. Damn it, this is juicy, but we can't nail him with it. He scrolls some more. Wait, what's this? A wasteland reclamation facility. Right here on the eye. He glances at you. What's the bet? This place is tucked into the wastes. The wastes? It's the section of the eye Erland couldn't reclaim. Was too damaged, too cut off. Back before the collapse, people would have got there by going down the connected spoke. Here we go. From the hub. But that spoke's broken now, so the only way is the long way, round the rim, past the Greenway. He shows you on his slate. Feng looks away, thinking, Conway have been making moves on this system since the collapse. I heard they took over one of Solheim's old belt colonies a while ago, moved everyone out, and reclaimed the whole rock. Why work with Harden? Access? Old connections? Not sure. Feng looks back at his screen. But if Harden is involved in it, then we need to check it out. Simple as that. So what's next? Feng stares out into the middle distance. We have to get to that facility. The answer to whatever Harden has been planning, has to be there. And we are going to catch him in the act. Give me 5, maybe 6 cycles, and then I'll see you on the Greenway. I seem to remember there's some old service docks on the outer shell, up by the Haifa building. Should be a good place to meet. Feng squeezes your shoulder. Thanks again, Sleeper, for sticking with us. Am I paying to get on the Greenway? Is that what I have to do? I haven't forgotten about that tracker of yours either, but I'm gonna need to be back in my bay to pull a solution together. He turns the slate around to face you, showing a mass of scrolling code. I've been working on a fix in my brakes. He winks. Feng grins wildly. Now, I've got to go ask for some time off from Jenna. Wish me luck. He waves as he walks back to the bar, where Jenna is standing, a look of deep exhaustion in her eyes. We got an upgrade point. Heck yeah, bud. So I guess that means we're done with Feng for now. He's gonna need time to do that, whatever that is. We've got our scrap freighter. Let's go ahead and do that before we spend any upgrade points. We're gonna want to buy... I just want one scrap. Like, I really only need one. Yeah, there we go. Now I can potentially... Ethan. Cynical bounty hunter. Oh no, we have to do something with him or for him. Let's have a look at this derelict unit first. Oh, we need 2 more scrap for this. Okay. Well, let's buy another scrap then. I don't have to worry about money. I think... Oh, we got scrap. Nice. I think that the spoke, the free spoke, and the founder's gap are 2 options, and they're options for different methods. I think that paying your way to get to Greenway is actually something intended for someone with interface, because interface seems to me to make a lot of money. Like, it just seems to be a money machine, and I don't think that money is maybe as readily available to other operators or other sleepers. I mean, didn't realize. Okay, yeah, sorry, we're at +2. So yeah, I think that we are meant to pay our way there, especially if we've tripled down on interface. I think that that is just going to be the correct way of doing things. I wouldn't mind putting some points on engage. Intuit is really tempting, actually, because then we can re-roll all of our dice, but I really don't think that re-rolling our dice is actually that beneficial. I don't see that being as, like, unless we're in the exact situation we were in last cycle, where it's like, okay, we literally cannot progress the quest unless we have the right stuff. But you know, those are actually quite rare. Generally speaking, there's always something we can do with our dice, even the low dice, which is something I really appreciate about this game. Okay, so we have completed this derelict. Maybe? Seal unit. Oh, we need endurer. With all the materials, the unit now needs sealing section by section to be usable. It's a laborious task, but the outcome is worth it. This is the one stat that... Honestly, I wonder if it wouldn't be worth spending a point to have endure specifically for that. This is Intuit or engage. Again, I think that we're just meant to kind of pay our way. Let's maybe do some work. We'll see what Ethan wants. The compressor is quiet today. The usual crowds are elsewhere, and the pumping music washes over a handful of spacers and a few drunks. Ethan is still in the same stool, in the same pool of light. His head is low, close to the bar, and the bartender is ignoring him. Approach him. As you get closer, he lifts his head and turns. Sleeper! He turns to look at you. Time to pay up again? He gestures to the bartender. Come here. Take their chits. No more, Ethan. Ethan doesn't even look at you. He props his elbows on the bar and holds his head. Sleeper, it's been a long cycle. Enough. Ethan lets out a long sigh. He rapidly rubs his eyes with his palms. You're right, he says quietly. This isn't fun anymore. He reaches towards his holster. I don't know why we're, like, putting pressure on him. I guess I could have said nothing, but, like, that option doesn't seem to be much different. His elbow slips and the gun tumbles out. It clatters on the bar and falls to the floor, bouncing onto the ground between you. Both you and the bartender look at the gun and stare at it. Butterfingers, says Ethan, and puts out a hand beckoning for you to give him the gun back. If you would. The bartender looks at you warily. You crouch down and pick up the gun. Hand Ethan the gun. What a silly thing to do. I mean, I feel like if I point the gun at Ethan, this is just going to end it the same way. He's going to like laugh and assume that he's not actually in any danger. Point the gun at Ethan. Here we go. Turns his head in your direction a little, a sharp pale eye locking with yours. The bartender backs away. Oh. He turns on the stool. Oh, sleeper. He stands. This is more like it. Pull the trigger. Wait. You hold the gun steady, training it on his head. Ethan smiles. Like the dog that caught the car, he turns to the bartender and mock whispers. I'm not sure they know what to do with it. Pull the trigger. You don't wait, you pull the trigger. The gun clicks. By now all the attention in the bar is on you and Ethan, who looks at his gun with a bemused expression. I assume it's like the type of gun that is only going to fire for him. The bartender raises an open hand, and in it are 10 shiny bullets. 10 shiny bullets he took out of Ethan's gun while he was asleep on the bar. Ethan smiles at the bartender. Oh well, he says, and grabs the gun, slamming it back into your face in a single move. You stagger back and drop to a knee. Somewhere nearby, the gun clatters onto a surface. The hit's a glancing blow, but it makes your vision swim. Through the blur, you see Ethan wrestle a small, thin slate from his belt and hold it up. Enough of this, I'm logging the job and calling it in. Ethan taps at the slate. No more playing. Your head aches. Ethan taps through a few screens impatiently. He swears and taps again. He starts shouting, a dull echo to your ringing ears. He starts screaming at the slate and throws it across the bar. He crouches down and grabs you by the chin, his face close, his breath heavy with drink. S and ARP just screwed me. He grins maniacally. They canceled the contract. He stands up. They canceled the contract. He shouts at the ceiling of the compressor. You stand up, struggling to your feet, the sting of the hit fading. Ethan is rubbing his temples, his face pale. You hear a clicking sound, like coins being counted, like bullets being loaded into a magazine. When you shake off the last of the blur, the bartender has Ethan's pistol trained on Ethan's head. Ethan stumbles back towards the middle of the room, all eyes trained on him. I'll kill all of you, he screams. He stumbles into the wall, spinning away towards the door. I'll be back for that, he shouts at the bartender and lunges out of the compressor. You steady yourself on the bar and catch your breath. The rumble of conversation returns. The bartender goes to say something but then thinks better of it and begins to clean the bar. After a while you wander out into the light of the bright market, looking for Ethan around every corner. Interesting. Well, tell you what I'd like to do. I guess I'd like to make progress on the side reel. Just for money. I think I need to, I want to like pay my way to, oh, positive outcome. I wasn't expecting that. Pay my way to Greenway. So let's make that happen. Positive outcome, and then this will maybe be a positive outcome. Side reel horizon. Okay. So we have 170. So let's go ahead. Do we have any data? Yeah, we do have some data. We could sell that. Let's go to the Ort exchange and do that. Oh wait, it's not the Ort exchange. It is the, it's up here. Oh, we have to talk to Rabaya. Rabaya? I haven't decided yet. As you approach the address Rabaya gave you, a heavy hand falls on your shoulder. What's your business here? The enforcer grips your shoulder, giving a hint of the strength her implants give her. As you turn to see the same subsidiary eyes as Rabaya and Toshiro, glinting like mirrors on her cheeks. Gia, please. The sleeper is here by my invitation. At Rabaya's command, the hand immediately loosens and an apologetic look replaces the scowl on Gia's face. Of course, Rabaya, I'm sorry. Rabaya waves her away. Don't you worry, I appreciate your protective instincts. She smiles at the enforcer. How about you head to the timbre? They have a delivery coming and they'll need some help with the lifting. Gia nods and walks away. So, sleeper, you came, I'm glad. Didn't feel like an offer. I'm sorry for that. She smiles a tight smile. You have to understand, finding you there in Sabine's unit, I wasn't sure where we stood. There are more than a few people on this station who would rather I was dead. I had to be sure you weren't one of them. I wish you no harm. I am glad. Rabaya begins walking and gestures for you to walk with her. She takes you down a staircase into the bustling walkways of the low end. What do you know about Yadigan? Radigan is the brown wizard. You remember the brown wizard? Yo, do you remember the brown wizard though? No one remembers the brown wizard. Remember the wizard that had like 16 bajillion scenes in The Hobbit when he had like 2 lines in the book? Yo, do you remember? Anyway, you are a gang. A gang, yes. That is what people call us. But what meaning does that word have in this place? Sorry, it's not Radigan, it's Radagast. My bad. People with carts push past, moving crates of supplies around the thin and winding passages. Our reputation is one that implies threat. Is that fair to say? We are framed as aggressors, parasites, criminals. She gestures around at the people in the passageway. But when was the last time you saw a lawmaker on the eye, a policeman who makes the laws here? Erlin did. Indeed, you understand the history then. That is good, but Erlin is long dead, sleeper, and his rules were little more than an optimist's manifesto. The eye has changed so much since then. If you had spent your time in the low end, maybe your opinion of us would be different. This is our place, our people. The low end was empty in Erlin's time. They didn't need to house thousands, and keeping the yards and the rotunda safe was work enough. No, the low end was reclaimed later, when the refugees started arriving. Rabaya meets your eye. The collapse didn't just happen here on this station. When Solheim collapsed, the entire system felt it. Colonies were abandoned. The moons of Ember and Cinder suddenly gained independence overnight. Some took advantage, some tried to hold it together, some fled. The Eye became a refuge, and Erlin, to his credit, extended an open hand to everyone, but many within his organization disagreed, and those new arrivals weren't as simple to corral as they hoped. Rabaya leads you through a small market hall, busy with small stalls and traders. Erlin's union was made of workers, administrators, people who were malleable and already organized into hierarchies and networks. The refugees came from different factions and families, were scared, injured, desperate. Conflict was inevitable. Yadigan is a child of that conflict, a child born out of the need for us to stand up and claim our future, to provide security, strength. People call us a gang, but we are a community. I take my position as lieutenant seriously, and from my birth I have worked to earn it. Rabaya catches herself before she raises her voice any further, and you both walk in silence for a while, among the smells and textures of the low end. You start to wonder if this place could be a home for you too. Where do I come into this? Rabaya smiles to herself, and thinks for a moment before she responds. I believe that you understand the importance of a refuge, so I also believe that you wish to help keep this place safe. She exhales quietly. For this reason, I would like you to trust me. I do not know what Sabine told you about us, but I imagine it was not good. I will be honest with you, Sleeper. I was never comfortable with having Sabine as part of Yet Again. An ex-corporate employee, it goes against our nature. But their deal was with Yannick. I kept my distance, made sure Sabine had their surgery, kept it supplied. That was all. But I cannot allow people to go back on the promises they have made to us. Yet Again has not lasted this long because it is a charity. We offer and ask for support. Any betrayal will be treated as an attack. They were trapped and desperate. Who is Yannick? Yannick is one of the heads of Yadigan. They guide us. He is the newest to be elected. He is an elder. Sabine found something. Please, I don't want to hear their accusations. They only wanted to escape their debt. They would have said anything. But where are they now to stand behind their claims? I will find them. As will we. You realize that Rabia has led you in a loop, and together you both come back up a staircase to the walkway where you met. You are free to go, Sleeper. I have said what I wish to say. She looks out through the windows of the walkway. I would protect this place with my life, as it has protected me. I want to make that clear. She turns back. However, if you two wish to come under its protection, I can help you. Return here if you wish, and there will be tasks for you to complete. You'll be able to see Yadigan, to see the low end, with your own eyes, not as others frame us. As for Sabine, she pauses to consider her words. I will not ask you to betray them, but if they contact you again, consider their motivations carefully. With that, Rabia leaves, slipping back into her office, while you stare out at the countless units, each a home, each with a story that makes up the low end. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I trust Sabine at this point. Ex-corporate, she works for my overseers, basically, on the people that, literally put the command chip in my brain. And I don't trust that at all. So, I kind of want to throw the money at this Founder's Gap. It's only 150 is a lot, let's be honest, but let's do it. Heavily tattooed spacer takes your chits and tells you to prepare. She'll be waiting at the edge of your arrival. This isn't a one-time thing, I'm hoping. As you step out into the passageway, someone barrels into you from behind, sending you stumbling down the corridor. It's Esh, new character. You turn to see an unfamiliar spacer laden with heavy gear. She steadies herself, staring you down, as if daring you to respond. Sorry. She adjusts the strap on her shoulder, holding up a hand in recognition before setting off down the corridor. New character. Another new character. I'm sorry for her. A second spacer smiles at you apologetically. She's on a mission, and when she's on a mission, they shrug. Tell her to... Not a problem. They smile. You're sweet. Peek. Esh stands further down the corridor, glowering at her friend. She chops at the air, pointing down the corridor to whatever end she is rushing to. Peek raises her eyebrows at you. Esh, please. Do you want everyone on this station to hate us? Esh hardens. They want to hate us. They can hate us. She drops her hip. I'm not exactly seeing much love as it is. We're lucky we got through before they set up that damn cordon. Cordon? Peek gestures in your direction. See, they don't even know what you're talking about. The station isn't Hawthorne. Not everyone has to follow some corporate protocol. Esh sighs. I'm not saying they are part of the administration. She jerks her head in your direction. But I am saying we need to get these supplies to the Briar before someone starts asking questions. Can I help? Peek smiles slyly. See, Esh? Help. Isn't that exactly what we need right now? Peek. Esh rolls her eyes. Peek ignores her. We are with the refugees, the ones Havenage have cordoned off from entering the station. Esh interrupts. The ones that are being quarantined in makeshift vessels that barely made it to the eye to begin with. The ones that your station administrators have called an existential risk and are running out of supplies while their right to safety is being debated by people with no stake in their future. She quickly looks away, annoyed at her own outburst. Peek sighs. She's right, people are trapped out there, and they turn to Esh. We understand that this is a big problem for the Eye. Hundreds of refugees and more ships turning up each cycle. I hold up a hand to stop, Esh interrupting. But... Esh turns away, her burning anger a palpable force in the close quarters of the corridor. They need supplies, and after everything they've been through, the quarantine isn't helping. Peek finishes. That's difficult. Peek forces a smile. Peek, please. Ash gathers herself and the supplies. Ash, we need help. Just like the refugees needed us, we need others too. They smile at her. Peek turns to you. Come find us. The climbing briar is docked at the broken spoke. Past the Greenway, in the wastes. We have a good view of the cordon, though we are keeping our distance for now. Come help us. They squeeze your hand. Ash turns to leave and Peek follows, waving goodbye. A moment later, Ash shouts back down the corridor. Don't bother coming empty-handed. You want to help? Show us. Bring supplies or don't come at all. And with that, they disappear around the corner. Ash already picking up speed as Peek calls for her to slow down. A refugee flotilla? Where are they coming from and why now? Each time you think you begin to understand this place, something changes. So what do we got? We've got Greenway. The map, the paths. Into it. Going green. Exploring the Greenway is unlike any other place on the eye. Its overgrown chambers defy mapping. I wonder what kind of data we could gather here. Oh, service dock. Derelict Greenway dock. Waiting for Feng. Okay, so this is where we're meeting Feng. Haifa commune. Engage, work the canteen, so we can get some money here if we want. The wastes. Okay, so this is where the station starts to look like a mess. Gather scrap. Out here at the edge of the habitable parts of the eye, everything is scrap. The trick is finding components that are still usable and staying safe. Skill upgrade required. We can't do that one. And then what is this? Climbing Briar. Escaped XPR ship. And then things kind of end at a certain point. Supply Guriels. Welcome to Episode Flux. Episode Flux is the first of 3 episodic updates to Citizen Sleeper, telling the story of the refugee flotilla which has arrived at the Eye. All 3 episodes, Flux, Refuge, and Purge, are now available. Completing the Deliver Spores action will begin the episode, but be aware that it is intended for late gameplay. Okay, good to know. I still don't know where to get those freaking mushrooms, so not like it's gonna matter too much. Well, I don't have any dice to spend here, so I'm gonna head back. Hopefully it doesn't cost me any money. Does it cost me any money to go back? No, it doesn't. Thank goodness. I do have some data I could sell, so let's maybe do that. I guess I would do that at Tambra's. Yeah, Tambra's Tea House. Let's go ahead and sell some Havenage data. Oh, I forgot to check what kind of data is available in the Greenway. Huh. Intuit. So this Intuit or Tavla room requires an Intuit +1, or it won't do it. That's interesting. Okay, well, I know it's maybe a short episode. I'm gonna sleep and we'll see if there's any event. But other than that, I'm gonna end the episode here. Things are developing. I think if I have like one thing I wish that this game did a little bit better, it would be like, it's not that my decisions aren't interesting. It's that I, generally speaking, don't feel very much of a moral tug. Not that a game like this needs to have that, but I feel like this is the kind of game that should have something like that. Like, I don't ever feel like I'm ever making a decision. It's just always like asking questions, or like, you know, help someone or don't help someone, or ask a question or stay silent. Like, it very rarely does it feel like my presence is actually changing anything. Definitely the way I spend my dice, spend my, you know, actions is progressing things forward, but I don't actually, I don't feel like that is much in the way of substance in terms of like how my actions affect the world. It just kind of feels like I'm adding fuel to the engine that pushes the story forward. which is fine. The story is compelling. I am enjoying it. But I do feel like in terms of a role-playing game, I don't really have much role in the story. So like, you know, just thinking out loud, but that is kind of what I feel so far. I don't know, maybe things will change a little bit later, but I feel like I must be coming to at least the halfway point here. So I don't know. But if you are enjoying the series, definitely hit that like button and consider subscribing for more content like this. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.